What up? It's Rawway from the Rawway Show podcast with Rawway and Paul Clark. Yo, it's heating up today for Diddy. The prosecution closed. The prosecution gave their closing arguments, and they came out swinging. They came out talking stuff and like talking strong. Speaking about the one thing that they went into is to say that Diddy was leading a criminal enterprise for over 2 decades, using his power, violence, and fear to commit and cover up serious crimes, including SCX trafficking, taking people, kidnapping, arson, and drug distribution. I don't know. I mean, but yet, they also got to finish today the charge, the thing with the charges saying that they were not going to focus on the charges. Don't go away. They just basically know that. I think in hindsight, they know they got the charges are weak charges, and the case is weak. The whole case is weak. So what they trying to do is move it away. Try to look stronger on some other things and shorten the attention span. Because real talk, every day of today, everybody of today has a shorter attention span than people 5 years ago, people 10 years ago, people, way before that. Because so much information comes so fast that people are like, you know what I'm saying? So the people in the jury are just sitting there. The people in the jury they've been sitting there for 7 weeks. They done caught people going to sleep. They done caught people, a couple people just, really not paying attention to it because you hear it. You really would rather be doing something else. If they ain't got their phones, or if they had their phones, I'm sure people scrolling, trying to do whatever they can. And with the closing argument, the prosecution came out talking a good game at first. But as it went on, and then they started getting technical, because at first they came out speaking loud, like, oh, yeah, we're going to show you that he's a also distributing drugs. He's also trafficking women, and he's also, we're going to break down arson for you. We're going to, and it's, I dig it, but when you trying to prove a case in the court of law, you have to prove the case beyond a reasonable doubt. I have no doubt that the jury will not agree. I don't think it's going to be a hands down deliberation when the time comes next week. You know what I mean? Even though the defense will pick up on Friday, I don't believe once the jurors are out to deliberate, or to look and see what's going on, I have no doubt that they will not be in agreement. And I'm thinking it's going to be 70-30. I don't think it's going to be like a 50-50 or 60-40. It's going to be like 70-30 with Diddy, because they're not proving, the prosecution have not proved any of this. This stuff is like I said in the other video, I said this is like a Hail Mary. This is like them throwing the ball to see who catch it, to see if they can trick and fool these people into thinking being freaky is a crime. Because if that's the case, Hugh Hefner ran the Playboy Mansion for years. Hugh Hefner had the Playboy Club. He's done a lot of this same stuff in the years before on up to now. Leonardo DiCaprio be having big parties too. Some of them other celebrities be having big parties too, and they're not even paying them any. They're not the ones though. And I guess you would say it because nobody is reporting them about anything. But I don't feel that Diddy is doing anything. I don't really feel like that. I think that he has a sexual preference, and the people that he deal with, he has brought them into that sexual preference. They like it. They like to be a part of it. The women that were Cassie and Jane that were witnesses in the prosecution all have said they were all a part of it, that they all liked it, that they were also doing stuff on their own. They were calling the escorts on their own. So how do you look at that like that? You know what I'm saying? So it can't really be a one-sided thing. So when the prosecution, when they close, and I just don't think people are going to side with that. You know what I'm saying? So at the same time, when the defense do what they got to do and they start their closing arguments, we're going to see how they deliberate. Well, not deliberate, how their closing arguments go, because they're going to show how much all of this was consensual. How all the sex was consensual. Now, it's so, if people paying for somebody to come from out of town to spend time, because they're taking it from it being some fun, going out of town to have fun, into being paid to come from somewhere. But why would that be a crime in the process of, yeah, you might get here and we might, go do something when you done came from out of town, and we go there and then we're going to have sex? How is that a crime? That's crazy that that's a crime, but all the way to a RICO charge. And they're going by the smallest bit and piece of the RICO charges, because it's like now they're saying, well, I'm sure it's always been a part of the RICO charges. It's not nothing new. But if he's found, just as simple as, for example, for the drugs, if he's found guilty for 2 counts or the drugs twice, then he can be convicted of the RICO charge if he's convicted for 2 of the charges. So if they don't find him guilty for sex trafficking, they don't find him guilty for aiding and abetting, or they don't find him guilty for kidnapping or none of those other things, but they find him guilty for drug distribution 2 counts or 2 times or whatever, then he would be convicted for a RICO stature. That's crazy. That's crazy. What do you think? Leave a comment. Check us out at the Rawway Show podcast with Rawway and Paul Clark. New one's coming. Yeah. Now get out of here.